All right, guys, welcome to the Fearless Freedom Team Call. I'm super excited about what we're going to chat about today because live video is so key in just building that instant trust with your audience and growing. So I've got a whole presentation for you, and I'm going to, okay, so first of all, and as we move through this, if you have questions, this is a big topic. If you have questions, and you can post them in the chat, you can talk amongst each other, and you can also just put the questions there for the end, and we can interact and go from there. But ask any questions you want, and I'm so happy to answer them because this is something I love. It's something I'm passionate about, and I'm excited to be able to share this with you. So first of all, why live video? How is it going to help, and why is it a key to growing your audience? First of all, transparency. It provides transparency. People want to know that they want to make sure that they're not being duped or being lied to. And that's easy. I mean, on Facebook or any other post that we do, it's easy to put one thing but really have another. We could actually even put a fake profile picture and pretend like we're someone who we're not. People want to know that we are who we say we are, and that is what they're able to get when we go live on Facebook. A great example of how key live Facebook is, or live video is, to really allowing people to get to know who we are, because that's exactly what happens. When we're typing and we're writing on a message out on Facebook, and it's just a message, no picture, it's hard for people to see any emotion. That's why, I don't know if you've ever been involved in a help desk or sent an email and had it be misunderstood, but that's why there's so many issues with communication and when we just send words. That's why a lot of times if we're on Facebook and we're putting just a plain message, or we're texting someone on the phone, we tend to use emojis. We'll do a winky face, we'll do the crying, the laughter crying. We're going to do all of those things in order to kind of present the emotion that's behind it, because those emotions are key in building trust and allowing people to see who we really are. And again, that B word, being vulnerable, allowing people to see our true selves. So when we get on to live video, it's really the fullness of communication. I don't know if you've ever seen the TV show called Lie to Me, but it's about this detective who could always tell he was like a human lie detector. He could tell when someone was lying because of micro expressions. So they're really tiny expressions on our faces that maybe you or I can't really see or don't know what they are, but they're huge with at the primal level, the way we were created. They're huge in us being able to say, can I trust this person? Can I not trust this person? Way back when we were first created, the tribes had to be able to tell within a second, does this person who's coming at me belong to our tribe or not? So they know if they're in danger or not. And those primal instincts are still with us today, only they're with, again, a lot of those micro gestures and stuff. So when we get on live video, it takes out the guessing game. It takes out, what is their true expression? Are they really telling the truth? Is that really how they feel, or are they just saying that? Because when we're live, there's no edits. There's nothing. And people see who we are for real. And they can decide right away if they like us or not. And that's huge with building trust, which is what we're trying to gain with our social media. So when we're posting 4 to 5 times a day or whatever, and on different topics so that people can get to know us, it takes a while to build that trust. But as soon as we start going on to live video and we're intentional with it, and I'm going to go over the do's and don'ts of live video in a minute, that kind of takes away takes that time period where people get to trust us and smushes it up a lot closer. So the trust is built a lot faster. So let me look real quick here through the questions, and then I'll move on to the next thing. So what does everyone think is the best time of day for live video? Yes, we will chat about that. I've cried a lot on live video before, and it was a real popular video. Yes, people can see our true selves, and that is huge. They don't want to see the fake Sarah Kroger. They don't want to see the fake Dawn Kissel or Amanda or whatever. They want to see the real you. Who are they talking to? You know, and I will say, yeah, with kids screaming, I should let my kids run screaming more often. But I will say that sometimes we struggle if we have self-esteem issues and we're nervous about what other people are going to think or see when they see us on live video and online. And that's what maybe we need to dig into a little personal development and really work towards being okay with who we are. Because if we're okay with who we are, then we don't mind being ourselves, no matter where we are. And then people can either decide they like us or they don't like us. And if they don't like us, guys, it doesn't matter how much time you spend trying to lure them in as customers or whatever. They're eventually going to see the real you, and the reaction is going to be the same in the end. So let's cut that all out. Let's do a live video. Okay, so the do's and don'ts of live video. First of all, grab their attention and tell them what you're going to do. So as soon as we start the video, let people know what you're going to do. Hey, thank you for joining my live video. I'm so excited to be with you today. Whatever you're going to say. I'll usually have my coffee talk. I've got my coffee in this pretty mug, and I love my pretty mug. Today, I was just on my heart to share with you 3 ways that we can get past fear when faced with some sort of tragic situation. We grab their attention. You tell them what you're going to do, okay? And then make sure you give them your name and let them know why you're passionate about the topic. Or if you're an expert, why you're an expert at the topic or why you love the topic. I am so passionate about sharing about fear, about how to deal with this fear, because recently I was in a situation where I was really paralyzed by fear after finding out that one of my friends lost her husband in a tragic accident. Share why you're passionate and why it's important. Don't be a live junkie. Okay, guys, this is so important. We need to not be doing live video just because we want to get on and do live video. The minute we get on and we're not intentional with what we're going to say and we're just rambling, then people are going to go and they're going to hit the unsubscribe button. They can unsubscribe to any of your live feeds. It's the quickest way to lose an audience. So we need to be intentional and deliver amazing content or good content. And we just do it once in the day. Every once in a while, if you want to do 2 live videos in a day or something, that's fine. But we need to not be going live all the time or you will be blocked. I've heard in the DC Council, I've heard them talk about other people who go live and, oh my gosh, so-and-so's going live. How do I block this person? They're so annoying. And that is because we honestly need to be intentional with what we're saying. So whether it's intentional with giving tips and tricks or motivation, we're going to talk about more about what we can talk about in a little bit here. But with whatever it is, we have to know what we're going to say. Keep it brief when you're first starting, okay? So you want to offer that value. You want to keep it brief. If you're just starting out, make sure it's no more than 5 minutes. Unless you feel really comfortable on video and it's a strong topic and you have really strong content, try to keep it to 5 minutes. As you grow in your comfortability and as you grow in really being able to engage with your audience, then having it be longer is fine. Sometimes I've had coffee talks that go on for 15, 20 minutes on occasion. Not very often, but sometimes I do. And it's usually those times when I'm on a roll, I'm very passionate about my content, I know exactly what I want to say, and I go with it. So it's very important to make sure that we're not just rambling and we have something important to say. So when you go live, try to have 3 or 4 bullet points. All right? It's really helpful. We can say, hey, I'll do coffee talk and then I'll do a title and it'll usually be 3 ways I battle fear when something tragic happens. Or if we could do 3 ways, 5 ways, 4 ways, 7 ways, whatever. When we put a number to it, it kind of, especially you emeralds will love this, but it helps people understand and know what to look forward to and how many points you're going to be giving. And then keep to it. So your post or your video needs to be providing entertainment, education, knowledge, know-how, but it has to be valuable or people won't watch. So if you have some form of entertainment you can provide that's going to capture people's attention and it's good, then that's fine. Get on there and be funny. But I would suggest taking those things that you're passionate about and really choosing one of those to speak on. So, and I'll get to the questions here as soon as I get through this list. When we go live, be real. Oh, guys, yeah. Remember, we're not a reality TV show, okay? And it's probably for a reason. So we can't go on and impersonate someone. We can't go on and think, I'm going to be like Chalene Johnson, and I'm going to be Chalene, and I'm going to act the way Chalene acts, because eventually people are going to see right through it, and they're going to see that you're not being you and you're not being real. And that's going to really kind of lose some of that trust that we're working so hard to gain. So it's extremely important to be us, to be happy with who we are, and to be content with letting that shine through on the video. So how do we be the best us? How do we let ourselves shine? And that is by pretending that you're talking to your best friend, or pretend like you're talking to your avatar. So if you haven't created an avatar yet, then we need to get with your coach and get you the avatar training and create an avatar. Avatar is the person that you really want to reach. So if you're trying to reach out to someone who's really hurting because they feel they're struggling with their weight loss and not being able to lose weight, and they feel horrible when they try to get dressed up and go out on a date and all these other things, then when you're speaking on your live video, imagine that person. Maybe that person knits or sews or has chickens running around in their yard like Sarah, But imagine that person that you're talking to, and it makes it easy to have a conversation. It makes it easy to talk to that person. I remember Chalene Johnson said she always acts like she's talking to one of her best friends. So I imagine my best friend sitting right over there, and I'm just chatting with her. And so she'll say stuff like, hey, friend, how are you? So do that, or picture someone you love to mentor, someone you can be totally yourself around and who thinks you're awesome, right? So think of that person.
Can I say something?
What's that? Yep.
It's a little unnerving when you can see people's names come up underneath. So I actually have to block them so that I don't feel like I'm being, especially if I'm sharing something that's a little more sensitive, I have to block their names at the bottom of the screen so I can't see them when I'm doing my video, because sometimes that is unnerving to me. But I had to find a way around it so I could still do them.
Which is so funny because I get excited when somebody jumps on. You know what I mean? Like I think that the beauty of this is having so many different personalities, so that somebody who gets discouraged by not having any viewers can pretend a little more, and then somebody like what Angie's saying who gets like stage fright a little bit if there's people's names popping up, or like distracted by the comments.
Yeah, I get distracted by the fact that someone's husband is watching, and I wasn't intending this for some it's not, that's not in my intended audience, but I don't want to stop and I don't want to get embarrassed. So if it's something that's a little more personal, I have to block their names. Otherwise I start getting self-conscious and I forget what I'm doing and I get all flustered.
Yeah.
So I get husband gets on my video like from the other room, and I'm like, you can hear me. Like my
husband's done that. But just in case you've never done my video, their names pop up underneath, so you can see, even if they don't comment, you can see who's on there. So if it's something that you are nervous about, you might want to block that the first time or two that you're doing it, just so you kind of know what you're in for.
Yeah, until you get comfortable. I know Trent, when I first started doing live video, he hopped on one of my calls and said, love you. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. So that's a good point. I'm going to talk more on that in a second too, though. There's some more on those people that we see pop up in a minute. But thank you. That's a really great tip. If that's something that's going to throw you off track and you're going to struggle with, then hiding those at first is a lot better than being thrown off track. So, where are we at? So, here's exactly what I was leading to. Okay, so the next thing is, it is okay to interact. Treat it like a conversation. So if you watch Chalene Johnson, I'm using her as an example because I've been watching some of her live videos, but then I watched my friend Annie Piguero gets on, and she's hilarious. She sits there and she gets on live video to say something. She's like, wait a minute, Autumn. No, Mommy said don't do that. No. Hold on 1 second. All right, hold on 1 second. And then she'll get back. And it's hilarious. But I watched a few other live videos where people do that. Or Chalene Johnson will sit there and she'll be talking and then she'll stop for a second. She's like, oh, okay, so there really were cool analytics that post after the video airs. Yes, you can definitely hover over and you can, but she takes it and makes it a conversation, which helps the people who are on there feel like they're actually, again, it takes it to that next level of being a conversation and of really including them in what we're doing. So another thing would be if you see someone hop on to say, hey, hi, Holly, thank you so much for hopping on, or hey, girl, it's so good to see you, or yep, good morning to you too, but just taking a second to stop, acknowledge, and I don't always do that. Oh, I see Sarah raised her hand. Oh, I love this. Okay, what do you got to say, Sarah? Well, lower your hand. Lower your hand.
Okay. So if you are responding to a comment, I don't know how to. I think you have to do that. Anyway, if you're responding to a comment that you see, kind of like paraphrase it, because if someone's watching your video later, sometimes the video and the comments don't line up exactly right. And if you're just babbling along and you go, oh my gosh, yes, I know, and then you keep babbling on, like the people watching it later have no idea what you're talking about. So one thing that Chalene does, because I've seen her do it, and I think it's really good, and I've seen people not do it, and it's really awkward, is kind of say, oh, yes, I love it when blah, 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 and like kind of rephrase what they've said because you're seeing it and you're thinking about it, but the person watching it later might not be the same way.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it is all about building the relationship, but repeating it is so important. You see speakers do that at conferences as well. When they're asked someone a question, then they'll repeat it with the microphone. So, and exactly, it does make it worth their while to have them tune in live if they're communicating. So, also remember, don't sell on live video. People don't want to be sold to, and it's the quickest way to get people to unfollow you and hide you. Now, not selling and then inviting someone to hop into a sneak peek is not the same thing if you do that on occasion. But I would be very, very careful not to make that your main thing that you're posting about. But be brief, be bright, and be gone. Those are Chalene's tips from a video that she gave. So she said, again, your first video should be less than 5 minutes and never end a video without a call to action. I have to remember this. I always forget because I'm so excited on my videos. But she said really to ask questions like, I'm going to ask you to leave me any questions you want me to address in my broadcast on Friday in the comments. And I'm going to ask you to follow me. I'm at facebook.com/Michelle Hilliard, and I'm going to help you learn and grow. Make sure you follow me and make sure you leave a comment below so I can answer my next train. So basically it's just saying make sure you follow me or make sure you subscribe. We have to let people know what we want them to do. And we have to be good and okay with doing that. Yes, you know what? Facebook Live videos should be about things that we're really connected to, whether it's clothes, grieving, water bottle ones, like you said, things like that. Which kind of leads me to my next topic, which is, what do we say on a live video? You know, we're going to get on live video. We have to be intentional or we're going to lose our audience. We want people to know who we are. And we might think we have nothing to say, but I'm saying you do. You know, I've seen Angie Bradley get up. She shared her chore charts or her meal plans and stuff on live video. You know, I've seen Sarah talk about her chickens on live video. You know, we have to talk about the things that we're passionate about and the things that make us who we are, because that is what will endear other people to ourselves. Yes, I love chicken videos. So look at the 5 things that we talked about that you're posting on your Facebook. What are your things that make you you? Are you a teacher? You know, do you work with students or do you have kids? Maybe you have kid tips. Sometimes I'll do videos talking about tips for raising kids or marriage, or I'll just get on and share passionately about fear or about maybe something with mompreneurs, you know, how to put tissue paper into a gift bag. There you go. You know, it's really anything that's interesting, entertaining, providing value, any of those things. But again, we have to know what we're going to say. And that's why before I do any of my coffee talks, I always take a notebook and I write notes. I'm like 3 ways to do blah, blah, blah. Then I make sure I have 3 ways written down. So when I'm in my coffee talk and don't get so flustered and distracted, I'm like, oh crap, what was the second point? I'm not thinking that because it's live video. And I just pick up my little book and I get my second point and I talk about it. And I put little notes on the little key points that I want to touch on that are important. So having that prep is important because it'll help us to be more comfortable once we're on live video. We don't have to practice how we're going to say something because we're just talking to our friend. You know what? My friend wants to know how I make my breakfast every morning. So we get on, we write the notes. Okay, so I want to share with you one of my favorite breakfasts I make every single morning. It helps me to stay on track. It's super easy. Seriously, all you got to do is, first of all, you need to take 2 eggs out of your fridge. You need to crack them into a pan and let them sizzle. Then you just take a handful of frozen spinach and you just throw it in there and you stir it up. And then you put your salt and your pepper on there and you stir that up. You take it out of the pan, you slap it on a plate, pour some hot sauce on it, and bam, that's the best breakfast ever. I mean, it really, honestly, people want to know, how are we doing this? If you're successful with your health and fitness, you can take things that you do every single day. This is how 3 ways that I get my water in. I hate water. 3 ways that I get my water in every single day to make sure that I'm hydrated. You know, it can be anything like that. So try not to ramble. As you grow comfortable, you can work at avoiding things like and you know, words like that are words like that as you move along. So, and always just be yourself. Super important. Finally, what are the tools? Got a couple more things we're going to talk about here. What are the tools that we need to do live video? So you guys saw the picture of me in the event with the big black round light. I actually have that light on my face right now. It's super dark in my room. I'm going to turn that light off and you can see what it's like without my Diva light. It adds so much more brightness to my face. It's like being in a studio. There we go. Woo! It's like being in a studio and it just provides good lighting. So if you don't have something like a Diva light, first of all, if you love live video and you really want to get to the point where you're doing it constantly, especially if you want to do more live videos that look more professional. And that's up to you. That might not be your style, and that's okay. You might like more raw and real. But regardless, you need good lighting. So if you're in the house and we're doing a live video, or even a picture for that matter, it goes for pictures, you're going to pick up your phone and take a selfie, you're not going to have the window behind you. The window needs to be, the light needs to be on your face. So you can do live videos without having a Diva light, but I would suggest either doing them outside or doing them somewhere in the house where you have light shining on your face. But it's really important to have proper lighting. And so people can see your face and see all those crazy micro expressions. So I use the Diva light, and it comes with a tripod that holds and a cell phone holder. So it holds my cell phone. If you do not have that, you also, I would highly suggest getting a tripod and an iPhone adapter. Ooh, it's not that expensive to pick those things up, and you can get them on Amazon. So that's kind of what I would suggest for doing live video, so you're not constantly having to find a place to put your phone or whatever. But, oh, Dawn's got light on her face. Good job. So those are the things that I use. You do have to have your cell phone for live video via Facebook. And the last thing that I wanted to chat about is how do we prepare for a live video? That honestly, it depends on you and what your message is. Again, for myself, I can speak for myself. I am trying to build a more professional presence on Facebook. So I do my hair and my makeup. Anytime I do a coffee talk and get in front of my Diva Light, I do my hair, I do my makeup, I fix myself up so I feel good about how I look, and I feel confident. If you're struggling with how you look on video, then do what it takes to feel better. If you wear makeup and you like to fix your hair, then just take some time and do that. You know, sometimes we'll still do those off-the-cuff videos, and sometimes those are the best. So it just depends on what you want others to see. Okay? So I will do the professional videos, and every once in a while, I will just pick up my phone and start talking. So your preparation depends, but I would definitely plan what you're going to say. Make sure you take those notes and really think about how you're presenting yourself. And I would definitely, unless it's right after a workout where you're really trying to share about the workout, you know, I personally would take some time to just clean up a little bit. But at the same time, if that's not you, then you have to be you, and you have to be comfortable. And no two people are going to be the same. All right. So that is all I've got for you right now. The one other thing I wanted to share is one other thing. I did a live event for my book launch, and it went really well. I did live video. I did live giveaways. I have not yet thought about how I could use that in another way, but I was reading online. If you can get creative and you can think of a way to run a live event, and it doesn't have to be a Beachbody thing. It could be, I don't know, whatever you're passionate about, think about it. But that's another thing I was going to suggest for building followers and stuff. Anyway, does anyone have any questions about live video or what to post or what to do videos on or anything? Bueller? I was looking at myself on my phone.
Michelle, what do you think is the best time of day to do a video? Like, when do you tend to get the most people tuning in live?
Oh, yes, that is something. Is consistency. So I think it's going to be different for each market. I tend to do my coffee talks. I try to do them at 10 in the morning or 10:30 in the morning. This summer, it's been crazy. And what I noticed in these last two videos that Chalene Johnson did is that she was saying, you know what, I'd tell you when my next live video was going to be, but that would take away my freedom. So I've read things that say we absolutely have to be 100% consistent. But what I've done is I've said 10-ish, 10:30-ish. I always put an ish on it so that it gives me some leeway so people aren't expecting me on. But I would say it depends on when when are you on Facebook the most? I mean, now you're a Beachbody coach, so it's kind of like, well, I'm on Facebook all the time. But yeah, all the time, right. But here's the thing that I would say the most is if you're consistently on Facebook doing like me, I do my coffee talk usually I try Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes it's on a Tuesday, but I try to do it between 10 and 11. Sometime between 10 and 11 is when I try to get it in. And even though I don't always have a ton of viewers on my coffee talk, I do have a handful off and on throughout the whole thing. I get messages. I go out in public and people are like, oh my gosh, I love your coffee talk videos. I'm constantly watching your coffee talk videos. And it surprises me, because we don't think that many people really watch, but they do. So I've also noticed that evening ones do pretty well. So I did one recently, and I had a lot of viewers. Shoot, what was it about? I can't remember what it was about, but I did one recently in the evening. I got a lot of viewers. But always, again, things you're passionate about. I know I post about tips and tricks, mompreneur stuff, because what are we doing in business? We're constantly learning. We might feel like we're babies in this business, but we are experts. compared to a lot of people who are in this business and are shooting messages to people the very first day that they sign up and putting people in groups without asking and all that kind of stuff. So there's a tons of people out there that we can still share the knowledge that we have and give tips and tricks. You can actually take anything from this video and do your own live video where you're giving tips and tricks on live video, and just take some of the content that I just gave you, which I pulled from Chalene Johnson and various sites on the internet when I was researching, and my own experience. So, but do it. Oh my gosh. Right now with Facebook, live video is getting it's got the highest weight.
Did my results. When I posted my results for my 21-day fix, I did it in the evening, so I'd get a whole new group of people. But when I do my regular live videos, just regular chore ones, I do them on the weekends in the mornings, or I do them in the mornings when moms are home that want to hear about stuff like chores or chore charts or schedules or meal plans or all that stuff. I do those in the mornings because those are the people who catch that stuff. And then what I found is, if you comment, don't respond to a comment, but if you comment again, it will pop back up in everyone's newsfeed. So if you want to hit a whole new audience, post it in the morning, like do your live video in the morning, but then at 6 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night, write a comment, not a response to a comment, but a comment, and it will pop back up, right back up in everyone's newsfeed, and they'll see it all over again, and you'll get a whole new group of people. So you can do it anytime, and then you can comment when you want a new group of people to see it.
Yeah. And
you can do that for any post.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like you can actually, I know Jatana Jackson will sometimes take a post that she put a year ago that'll pop up in her time hop, and it'll be like, oh my gosh, this one had a ton of hits. She'll just go in there and put a little comment. Instead of sharing that time hop, she'll put a little comment on there, and it pops right back up, and people start commenting right back on it. It's hilarious. So does anyone have any other questions about the live video? Angie, thank you for sharing that. That was a huge tip. That's huge. Yeah, but I think the time of day does matter, but the biggest thing is the consistency. You know, making that decision, I'm going to do live video and I'm going to provide value, and I'm going to do it one Monday, one Wednesday, and one Friday, or I'm going to do just Start Fresh. I'm just going to do Fridays. I'm going to do Fearless Fridays, or I'm going to do, you know, whatever. I do Fearless Fridays sometimes. I do always put different names on them, but a lot of times I'll do No Regrets Mondays. Anything I do, you guys are welcome to steal and reuse. I'm absolutely fine with that. And I don't know if you heard that when I was going off of when my internet dropped, but I think that's what I was saying, is that anything that I do and you want to repost, I got my information from Chalene Johnson and from various sites on the web. So does anyone have any other questions about live video or how to be seen or anything? No? Jennifer, I see you on this call. You got do you have anything to add? Have you been doing live video?
Okay. No, I don't know if you can see me.
Yeah.
I don't do them. I've done a few, but that's what I was going to ask. I just get so nervous. Like even on webinars, I get so nervous on camera. So I was going to ask, like, how do you get over that? Because it's like my brain freezes. Like I just get so nervous. Like right now I'm like probably purple.
Oh, but you know what? I think you're cute. First of all, the one thing I read in a book called The Charisma Myth, if you guys have not read that book, get that book. I listened to it on Audible because I'm terrible at actually reading certain books, but The Charisma Myth really talks about charismatic personality and what makes a charismatic personality and how they end up shining. But one of the things that they talk about is when they use the example of a guy who every time he sat down and he got the sunlight in his eyes, he was super sensitive to sunlight and he would squint like this, you know, or he'd have some sort of an issue. And so he would just automatically tell people, hey, just so you know, if you see me do this, I've got this situation. So it takes that away. So if you're nervous on camera, I guess one of my thoughts would be to kind of say it once you get going. Hey, I'm Jennifer Wood, and I really wanted to share this with you. And don't mind me, I'm a little bit nervous on camera. You know what I mean? They want to see the real you, and you're nervous and a little shy, that's fine. But I also think that over time, as you get used to it, you will it'll get easier. And so the best place to practice would be to start doing live videos on your team page, and just different topics. And those, write down the topics and the ideas in a notebook, and then when you're ready, you can start doing those same things on your regular page. But that's honestly what I would suggest, because I think you're cute and adorable. I know you think you're nervous, but Sarah's got her hand raised just like a good schoolgirl. Man, I love you. What do you got, lady?
Okay, so I had 3 thoughts. Ready? Here's my live video on how to overcome your fears of doing a live video in 3 easy steps. So first, I know this girl who wrote this like entire book on overcoming your fears. You should check it out. Second, I would start with something really non-committal, like really simple. Seriously, something that you think is the easiest thing in the world. So something that you make regularly, something that you, like if you mix up, I don't know, I drink apple cider vinegar with honey and water and chlorophyll and like all kinds of stuff. And so I made a video one time about how I make that and why I drink it. And it's really like, actually I share it with people a lot because I get asked about it a lot, but something that you don't think is a big deal, or a makeup or styling tutorial would be nice. Or you should do like, you know, here's how I fold my cloth diapers. Some people don't like to stuff them before they fold them, but I find that it's easier to have them all ready to go. You know, just something really non-committal, something that you have no emotional investment in, something that you don't care worth a darn whether anybody takes your advice or not. Seriously, you could talk about how you and your husband vary in what level you cut the grass, you know, because you grew up in a house, about a water bottle. You grew up in a house where your dad liked to cut it long because he thought it was important for the thatch to be thick because he thought that that made the grass healthier, but your husband grew up in a house where they cut it extra short or whatever, okay? But the third thing I would suggest is you got to tap back into that why, girl, and you have to say, how bad do I want it? I can't tell you how many times I've asked myself that at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It's just, how bad do you want it? If you don't want it bad enough, then you're not going to make the video. If you want it bad enough, you're going to figure out a way to take a deep breath and just do it. You might get used to it and it might not be anymore. What's that?
I said, you just told her.
The easiest way to stop having to start over is to quit giving up. Is that what Autumn says? Like, I mean, in the kindest, gentlest way, sometimes we just have to suck it up and do it, right? And it's easier for some people than it is for others, but it's not impossible for anyone.
Yeah, it just takes that time, the time and the investment into getting used to it and becoming comfortable with it. Like you said, starting with something non-committal is a great way to go.
I will say, you guys, like, I think this is the time. It's a brand new feature. I don't know anyone else who runs businesses that's using it well. I know other people who run businesses who are using it in a way that is really confusing and awkward and difficult. But I don't know anybody else who does calls as good as the ones that I've seen from Michelle, from Kelly, from Sarah. And I'll toot my own horn too and say I've had a couple really good videos myself. And so, you know, Jennifer, if you're nervous, record yourself without putting it out there. You know, like if you have a video recorder on your phone, do a video, do a pretend video, and think about, you know, okay, my face looked really weird there, or like that tip didn't land. How could I have done that differently? Because practice, you know, is a great way to get better. But you know what? Just have confidence in yourself for real, because people are so much nicer than you think they are. I know that sounds stupid because I feel like I've always thought the opposite was true, but I dyed my hair purple this summer and like strangers were coming up to me like, I love your hair. And I thought I looked weird. I mean, I liked it, but like people respond to like authenticity with a lot of positive emotion. So I don't know, like I would also think about, like Sarah said, your why, but also think about what you're afraid of. Like, what do you think is going to happen? And realize that that's probably not as big of a risk as you think it is. So
Name your
that's just
fears, claim them, overcome them. No, but seriously, guys, it can be a scary thing going on live video. Like sometimes, you know, I went to go to my live video on fears and stuff today, and even then, like I took 2 seconds, I wrote my notes out, and like, yeah, here goes. I'm like, feel like I'm walking off the plank every single time because I have no clue what the heck's gonna really come out of my mouth, you know. But that's what makes being ourselves.
In this book I'm reading about,
What's
in this
that?
book I'm reading about fear, she talks about how, like, are you really in danger? And it made me think of that when Amanda was talking about figuring out what you're nervous about. Like, it's a legitimate fear because you're nervous, right? But are you really in danger? Like, is something really going to happen to you if you say something ridiculous on a live video on Facebook? You know, like, what is the consequence if you don't do as well as you want to do? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, those are the kinds of things you're talking about, a pep talk. Those are the kinds of things I tell myself, right? Those are the kinds of things that I tell myself when I'm nervous about it. Like, what's really going to happen here? So Amanda talks about people are much nicer. When I send out my invitations, this isn't about live video, but I think it applies. When I send out my invitations on my computer, I stop and I imagine what the person's going to sound like saying yes. So maybe that's something that you need to do, is imagine what a good video is going to sound like, or what a good response is going to sound like. You know, like those kinds of things to remind yourself that it's not, like, there's not as much at risk as you think there is in this process.
But pro tip, if you're going to go to the bathroom on a team call, make sure your video is really muted, because I almost just let y'all see me go into the bathroom. So, you know, this is like a 3-day refresh situation, the water, not anything else. But, you know, Jennifer, like, you're not going to accidentally show people going to the bathroom. So, you know, there you go. You win. You do better than me. That's honestly, Jennifer, that's what I mean about owning it. Like, that's what I just did, and I'm admitting it. So you just got to own it. Whatever goofy, weird, silly, nervous thing you do, just own it. People like it. They really do. They respond to it.
Well, I'll chime in real quick. I know, like, my biggest fear is it is fear. It's just that fear of judgment, fear of rejection. Because I have done some videos. I mean, some have been okay. Not really. I don't know. The ones that I've done, like, in my challenge group, and I just feel like I haven't gotten, like, great feedback from it. So that kind of discouraged me to do more, because I just feel like, you know, I don't want to waste people's time. I don't know. And I'm the kind of person, like, if you'll just cheer me on and make me feel like I did a good job, I'll do more. But if you ignore me and, you know, I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to do it.
Why don't you create like a little mini group and put me in it? It's a mini group, me and you can put practice live videos, and I'll let you know what I think. There you go. You don't have to worry about what I think. Man, you've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, so. Just so if you guys don't know, Jennifer is like my soul sister. She and I, when we started on this whole journey,
I'm a creeper.
have gone through so much change and so much growth and so much healing. We've got very similar personalities. So this is who we are so happy to have on our call tonight.
They're probably wondering who the heck this girl is. Yeah, Michelle and I met.
Your makeup tutorial.
Yeah, we met in 2013 at a summit, and it was like love at first sight.
So fun. Hey, Summit, gosh, there's still time if you want to go. Anyway, guys, we've got to wrap this up. But thank you so much for hopping on the team call. And guys, thank you for participating and sharing your feedback and everything, because I think that's what makes it, no one person has all the answers. You know, that's why I'm looking to Shalene and why I'm looking at all these other places. But really, honestly, when we put our heads together, we do better. So we're better together, stronger. So anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for coming. Have an amazing night. Yeah.